What's up, y'all? It's your boy KSK Sports here, and I don't trust the Browns media. I don't trust this heel turn that they've. You guys see it. Now all of a sudden, they're pretty much submitting to the fact, which we knew about this like 2 or 3 months ago, when the Browns media they were talking about, oh, Kyler Murray is going to be a Cleveland Brown. Malik Willis, yeah. All these reporters, Zach Jackson, Jason Lloyd, Tony Grossi, Mary Kay Kappa, they was all talking about anybody but Shedeur. Now you got Tony Grossi coming around talking about, hey, Shedeur might play 12 games in 2026. Well, why all of a sudden you guys so glum about the quarterback situation in Cleveland? We told y'all what it was. We told y'all they weren't going to bring another quarterback in, even though Andrew Berry said, hey, we're going to bring in, we're going to look internally and externally. Y'all took that literally. A lot of the reporters, they were like, yeah, well, Andrew Berry said they're going to look externally. He never said specifically that they were going to bring in somebody externally. He never said that. He said we're going to look internally. We're going to look externally. He didn't explicitly say, hey, we're definitively going to get a veteran quarterback. He did not say that. He said we're going to look internally. We're going to look externally. Notice he said internally first, then he said externally second. Okay? Look, Todd Monken's a Shedeur guy. I don't see how Browns media, they're being so obtuse and dense about this. I knew as soon as people were talking about that Todd Monken, he actually recruited Shedeur at Georgia. I think Andrew Berry knew that. And I think Cleveland media, they knew that as well. They just want to act like Deion Sanders fans, Shedeur Sanders fans, and fans of the Cleveland Browns, like we're just dumb. Like we don't know football at all. Like people are able to figure this out pretty quick. Hey, Todd Monken actually recruited Shedeur Sanders when he was offensive coordinator at Georgia. He wanted to draft him when he was the offensive coordinator at the Baltimore Ravens. Hey, he actually might mess with Shedeur. And Browns media, they're like, well, I guess so. I guess we can admit that Todd Monken is actually a Shedeur guy. We knew these things. We knew these things when Todd Monken got hired like almost 2 months ago. We've known this for quite some time. I don't know why Cleveland media is finally coming around to the idea that, hey, yeah, Shedeur might actually be the QB1 going into training camp, which is coming up pretty quick. And, hey, Browns media, Ty Simpson's pro day today. I don't think Andrew Berry's attending Ty Simpson's pro day. I'm just saying. You know whose pro day they attended last year? They attended Shedeur Sanders, well 2020, yeah, 2025. They attended Shedeur Sanders pro day, and they was looking at Travis Hunter as well. I'm just saying, man, they looked at him. They selected him in the 5th round. I mean, it was a little late. Better late than never, as they say. But I'm just saying, they ain't even attending Ty Simpson's pro day. What made you think they're going to pick a quarterback that's possibly going to be a 1st round, a 2nd round pick, and they're not going to his pro day? That just lets you know they ain't selecting Ty Simpson. I said that like one of my first videos on YouTube was that Shedeur Sanders is better than Ty Simpson. I think it was my 2nd video I made, like back in December. I told y'all then Shedeur Sanders was better than Ty Simpson. But Browns media still trying to convince people that Ty Simpson might be a better option than Shedeur. That's why I don't trust me, even though they're kind of admitting to the fact that Shedeur Sanders is going to be the QB1 going into training camp. I still don't trust them. I still don't trust because if they get an inkling, of anything different, they will change course. They're like the wind. They will shift however it sees fit for them. Okay? They will create a different narrative, even if the narrative going now is, hey, Shedeur Sanders is going to be QB1 going into training camp. That's still not going to stop the stories that people that aren't in Cleveland media, the national media, the Adam Schefter's are like, well, I mean, Deshaun Watson, we're hearing he could be the starter in 2026. So, man, Deshaun Watson is not going to be the starter. Y'all need to stop that, okay? It's going to be Shedeur Sanders. And if they do bring in somebody externally, I don't think it's going to be who people think it's going to be. Because people are assuming, like Browns media, that's going to be Anthony Richardson or J.J. McCarthy. I don't think they're going to touch those two quarterbacks with a 10-foot pole. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you bring Anthony Richardson and J.J. McCarthy in there, an unproven commodity, and you already have Shedeur? That doesn't make any sense to the dynamics of the team. You're unsure about Shedeur, and you got to bring in somebody that's also unsure. Well, what sense does that make, Cleveland media? That's why I don't trust y'all, because y'all still throw in scenarios like that are dumb, while also admitting to the fact that Shedeur more than likely is going to be the QB1. That's why I can't trust y'all. I can't trust that y'all still gonna, just lay it out there and say, hey, Shedeur is the QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. He ended the year as the QB1. Usually, when you end the season as a QB1 and you're not going to select a quarterback in the first round, that generally tends it tends to be that's going to be your QB1 going into the season. Now everybody want to move the argument like, well, the Shedeur deserve to be QB1. The Shedeur, has he earned the right to be QB1? Well, Todd Monken believes so. Jimmy Haslam believes so, and Andrew Berry believes so. So those are three people that matter the most. It don't matter what KSK Sports got to say. It don't matter what Jason Lloyd, his lying self, or Zach Jackson, his lying self, Mary Kay Cabot, Tony Grossi. It doesn't really matter what they say. They can say whatever they want to. I can say whatever I want to. But it comes down to what Todd Monken thinks about Shedeur Sanders, what Andrew Berry thinks about Shedeur Sanders, and what Jimmy Haslam thinks about Shedeur Sanders. They're pretty much all in alignment. They like Shedeur. Kevin Stefanski, maybe Paul DePodesta, didn't like Shedeur. They're out of the building. Funny how that works. Everybody that was linked to not liking Shedeur from last year ain't with the Cleveland Browns. So what should that tell you, Browns media? That should tell you, if y'all not being obtuse and dense, it should tell you that, hey, maybe the coach and the quarterback are actually in alignment. How come there isn't any stories about that, Browns media? And look, anybody that wants to come to my comment section talking about, are you media? No, I am not media. All right? I am KSK Sports. I am a fan of the Cleveland Browns who has an opinion, who has built a platform for myself. I am not media. I am not bound to saying or reporting the truth. What I'm bound by is giving my commentary and my opinion about the situation. There is a difference, okay? And I hate that I have to explain it, because I get people in the comments talking about, aren't you a journalist? No, I am not a journalist. I used to be a journalist, so I know what a journalist is. I was a sports editor at Youngstown State University in Youngstown, Ohio. Go Penguins. Once upon a time, okay? I was bound by having to know facts, having to talk to coaches, having to talk to athletes. There was a time where I had to go through that process. Now it's like, hey, I can just put my camera up here on my phone, pointed towards me, and I can just give y'all my opinion. I'm not bound to saying the truth about something, although I do give my truth in my opinion, okay? That's called commentary. That's called giving my opinion. That's called being an awesome fan. All right, so I just cleared that up. Anyways, back to what I was talking about, okay? I don't trust Browns media. I don't, okay? You don't have to trust KSK Sports. You don't have to trust me. That's cool. If you do, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, okay? But I'm just a dude giving my opinion on the situation, giving my commentary, giving my opinion. I don't trust Browns media, okay? I don't trust that they actually have Shedeur Sanders' best interests at heart. I still believe a lot of Browns media are pretty bigoted considering the social economic dynamics of Northeast Ohio, which I have a PhD in social economics and demographics in Ohio because I grew up in Ohio. That's where I was born and raised. I lived in Ohio for 32 years. So yeah, I know I know what it is. I know that deep in a lot of Northeast Ohio people's heart, they don't want a black quarterback in Cleveland. They don't want a black coach. They want a white quarterback. They want a white head coach. They don't mind if you got black defensive ends. They don't mind if you got black players. But your coach, and your quarterback are the two most prominent faces of your organization. I think a lot of Cleveland media, they would rather have a white quarterback. They got the white head coach, but they'll rather want a white quarterback. Just is what it is. And I'll end with that. KSK Sports rolling out. Hey, if you like what I'm saying, give me a like. Comment on the video. Subscribe to the page. I'm burling in on 500 subs. I'm at 492. Hey, maybe this video will be the one that gets me over 500 subs. Okay? I should be monetized probably by the end of this year. That's what my projections are telling me. And I'm excited for that next chapter. Help me get there. All right, your boy rolling out. Follow me on Meta as well. I'm also on IG, KSK Sports 210 on IG. I'm also on Meta, KSK Sports. I'm at like 8.5K follows over there. Give me a follow over there as well. All right, subscribe, follow, all that jazz. All right, I'm rolling out. Y'all stay blessed. Peace.